Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to welcome the Minister to the House and to wish him well in his work. And I'm conscious that today you were invited here to talk about COVID and the Department's response. And of course, there's always the temptation to drift into the bigger, wider brief of your portfolio, which is, of course, housing, local government, planning and heritage. So I'm going to try and stick away from that because I think clearly, Minister, from today's contributions, we need a whole session on housing and we need another whole session on local government, and they're really, really important. But I want to start off by firstly thanking you and your department officials. We sometimes forget the department officials, and so much of our business, and for those who are on the Joint Committee on Housing and Planning and Heritage will know, so much of our business is done directly with your officials, unknown to many, many people. We can pick up the phone to them, they can pick up the phone to us. And that's something that a lot of people don't have, and I want to thank you, Minister, for facilitating that. And that's a really important relationship. And I think we also have a very successful committee, and I know there are a few members here in it, that are always examining, always teasing out, always prioritising these particular issues. Just want to take up a few points, Minister, where Senator Cassells talks about voids. That's scary, that's disappointing. I contacted a local authority in Dún Laoghaire, my own. 5 beautiful, old, red-bricked cottages empty this weekend. Unbelievable, isn't it? And we have a housing crisis in one of the most beautiful villages in the whole of Ireland, can I suggest. So I think we really have a problem, Minister, and I think we're really going to have a monthly review and a monthly publication of the voids, because we've got to keep the pressure on. Having said that, I want to acknowledge also the work of the chief executives in local authorities, who have worked exceedingly hard and really, really well. And also to thank our city and county councillors. And need I remind you how hard they work for very little, but they do work, and they work exceptionally hard. And they responded, of course, amazingly in relation to their work, but way beyond their work in terms of community work in their communities as the public face of many, many councils. So I want to salute them for the enormous work that they have done. Minister, I really want to firstly say I wish you well with your affordable housing bill 2020. I think it's exceptionally promising. We in the committee will be doing a PLS on that on Tuesday week. Hopefully we'll get through that quickly. Can I suggest you're committed to the Seanad, you're committed to bringing and initiating legislation through this House, perhaps, given that we really should be specialising, given COVID and all the restrictions that impact on business, on communities. COVID also impacts on us and how we do our work in the Oireachtas, and clearly we've got to get these bills going. So can I suggest the Land Development Agency bill, which has great potential and excitement for the delivery of real homes, affordable rental homes. Can I suggest that bill and the local housing affordability bill, one of them be prioritised or initiated through this House, because I know you're committed to that process. I just want to touch on one final thing, and that is on Bord Pleanála. We have an unbelievable situation. We have talked for 3 to 4 years in the programme, Rebuilding Ireland, about e-planning. We have no comprehensive, proper e-planning process. I picked up the phone to Bord Pleanála on Friday, and I picked up the phone to them today. I was told I could not make a submission to the Board of Leavers in their letterbox after 5:30 because it would be invalidated, even though it was in order, even though it had a check. They told me I could not pay online. I didn't even have an objection, but I set it up in such a way that I knew someone who wanted to put one in. That is madness. We have some local authorities that have no colour scanners. We have no proper IT systems. We've been promised an e-planning system for years, and it simply does not exist. So what I'm calling for, Minister, is the board also told me last week that they were waiting for legislation, that they've trialled an e-planning system in the board. It's been going on for 2 or 3 years. It's moved and moved. They say there is a legislative impediment to rolling out. So can I ask you, Minister, to leave it with you? Clearly you're going to have to tease it out with the people. But we need to prioritise an e-planning system. We talked before about consultation and engagement with the planning process. And I wrap up finally with a call from city and county councillors. Their major concern about public engagement in their county and city development plans. And we now have a situation where local authorities, including the one I'm in myself, live in Dún Laoghaire, we cannot even see our things. We have to make appointments. The place is shut. They are planning to do a public consultation on boards in the terminal building. But I don't want to be specific to that council. All over the country, local authorities are not open to allow the citizen, understandably because of COVID. So it highlights the importance of e-planning and technology in the planning sector. And it is something, Minister, I'd ask you to give your priority and attention to.
Thank you, Senator Boyhan.
Thank you.
Thank you indeed.